Hello, and welcome to day 78 of the live daily guided meditation series for ourselves and the world. We're going to give it a few seconds and then we will get started. Okay, so we're going to get started now. All right. So, as you may know, today is the 4th of July, Independence Day here in the United States. It marks the day that the Declaration of Independence was adopted by all 13 colonies, declaring their independence from the oppressive British government. That was July 4th, 1776. It is a day we commonly associate with freedom. It's important to note, however, this Declaration of Independence was only a year into the Revolutionary War, and the war lasted for 8 years. What this day really was a declaration of intent, an intent to stand up for themselves, to declare that they mattered, that they were deserving of rights and justice. And then they got to work, fighting and planning and creating a country and a government they felt more accurately represented who they were and who they wanted to be. And of course, at the time, that was mostly about white men. It took hundreds of years longer, for white women and people of color to gain the same rights our entire country was founded on and for. And that's not even taking into account the land that was used to create this more perfect union was stolen from the native indigenous people that lived here first, or that it was being built on the backs of slaves. We often think that history is just that. It's in the past. But all things that happen were once in the present moment. In our present moment today, our country that was formed by immigrants because they felt oppressed has fallen into the same traps that it was formed to overcome. Immigrant children and families are in cages. Systemic racism runs rampant in our government, legal system, justice system, educational system, economic system, and more. Women, people of color, and LGBTQ people are still fighting for their rights in the court systems. We have the highest amount of COVID cases in the world. White men found it right and proper to fight for these unalienable rights so many years ago, to form a more just and righteous perfect union. And this is what our country was founded on, which means revolution is patriotic, dissent is patriotic, protesting is patriotic, voting is patriotic, standing up for one's rights and for justice is patriotic, making changes to our government and our world is patriotic. As white allies and advocates on this day in particular, and on all days, we need to recognize that the original intent of our country didn't include everyone, and it still does not include everyone. And it's our job to fix that. And as spiritual people, you might be wondering how this applies to meditation or spirituality. It's doubly our responsibility to be effective white allies and advocates. We know that all souls come from the same place and are equal, but we can also see that they are not being treated as such here in this world, in this time period, or in many past time periods. I believe we are all here in human form to learn, grow, and evolve, which means when we are in an unjust, inequitable world, that too must learn, grow, and evolve. We must always strive to do better. We are living in unprecedented times, but so have our ancestors, and they rose to the occasion, and so must we. We're going to meditate now, and while we're meditating, I'm going to read to you parts of the Declaration of Independence. I want you to feel these words and their meaning deeply, and contemplate how they now need to be meant for everyone, especially Black, Indigenous people of color, and to empower us to make the necessary shifts and changes to our world to make this true. So let's jump in. You can close your eyes and we will start breathing. You're going to take long, deep, slow breaths in through your nose feeling the inflation of your stomach and your lungs. Noticing the shift from inhale to exhale and exhale to inhale. And then allowing your breath to leave your body with an audible sigh. Every audible sigh, allowing your body to relax a little bit more. Notice if you're holding yourself in any particular position or holding tension anywhere. Just letting it go. Notice how you're feeling right now, any body sensations, what your mood is, any emotions. Notice if they're manifesting in your body in some way. Notice any thoughts that are floating around your head. Perhaps something in my introduction triggered you. Just notice that. Sit with it. Give it the space and attention, but from an observer space. Do not get drawn in with it. And as we settle into this space, being contemplative and open, and understanding that change is important. And please contemplate these words and their meaning and how they apply to us now and to a more anti-racist world that we're striving for. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate the governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be a ruler of a free people. What do these words mean to you? How do these fit in to what we're experiencing now? To what so many people who are suffering are saying? Consider what it would mean to create a more just and righteous country for all people here. Acknowledging any feelings that come up for you, any triggers. And remembering that everyone does deserve the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're now going to let that go. Imagine a place and a space that feels really good to us. Where we feel empowered, and loved and loving, safe, happy, healthy and connected. And feeling those good feelings in and around your body. Acknowledging that this is all every person in our country and every person in the world, what they really want is to feel that they are in a safe space. They are loved and loving, happy and healthy, safe and connected. And how when we feel that way, it is so much easier to want those for other people. And to create them for those who don't have them. So with every breath in, our heart rate is going to grow and expand, filling the whole of our chest and then the whole of our body, blessing each and every cell in our body with our love and our divinity. And our heart rate bursts out of our body into a space around us, filling our home or place of work or wherever we may be right now with our love and our light. And our heart light continues to expand out, flooding our neighborhoods, our towns, our cities, our states, provinces, and territories, our countries and nations, and our continents, blessing each and every living being with our love and our light. heart continues to grow, expand, deep down into Mother Earth, connecting us with her wisdom, her abundance, and her harmony as we bless her with our love and our divinity. And our heart light continues to grow and expand, flooding and engulfing the entire planet, blessing each and every living being with our love and our divinity, intending and blessing them with love, wholeness, equitability, justice, compassion, understanding, support, and appreciation. That we may all live in a more just and loving world, the highest and greatest good of all. And our heart light continues to expand on, deep into every part of space, infinitely expanding, just as the universe is infinitely expanding, just as the divine is infinitely expansive. Because we are the universe and the divine. We are infinite. We are love. I'm going to sit in this state of expanded love for just a moment longer. Feeling what this state of expanded love feels like to you. How do you experience it? Feeling peaceful and balanced, in resonance with all that is. Feeling connected to all beings, and especially those that are in pain and hurting. Lifting them up, lifting this world up, and bringing it more into more resonance with the divine, with the justice that is right and good, the highest and greatest good of all. When we sit in this state of expanded love and awareness, we know that we are connected to one another. We know that our joy and our happiness and our rights depend on one another, that we are intrinsically connected and related. And when one suffers or hurts, we all suffer and hurt. So together we lift, we heal, we evolve and grow. And create a more perfect world where we all are supported and loved and cherished. Take a few more deep breaths. Or feel free to stay in this space for however long you like. Thank you so much for joining for day 78 of the live daily guided meditation series for ourselves and the world. And as always, Black Lives Matter, you matter, and together we are changing the world. Have a wonderful day.